The last thing we need to do for this part of the exercise is to work out how to convert a range of numbers into the fizz-buzz value. But when we actually come to write the tests, we don't want to repeat the tests previously done in the convert to fizz-buzz. So what we need to do is we just need to test that we're using the functionality of convert to fizz-buzz correctly. And to do this, we can use another test function. And this allows us to spy on function calls as they happen in the test. So I'm just going to do a Control-C to terminate the mocker, because we need to do an npm install sign on, and again save dev. And then we also need to do a second install to link it into Chai. So we've added those two new requirements, so F5 to ensure that they come into the Eclipse environment. And then what we've got to do is we've got to go back into support.js and bring in the new library and also configure it within the tests. So there we go. That's now completed that. So then in our test suite, we're going to go and add a test for our last function. Convert range to fizz-buzz. And the first test we want to do is just to make sure that we get the correct results back in the correct order. So here we'd expect, if we ask for a range 1 to 3, we're going to end up with 1, 2, then fizz. So this test is just to make sure that we're not constructing that range in the wrong order, so we don't get fizz 2, 1 back or anything similar to that. So to implement that test, let's just start the mocker again. So again, we're going to get an undefined function because we haven't added that function. So let's come into here and create the function. And for this first test, we can simply return the expected values. And there you are, we're passing all the tests again. So the next test, we want to check that for every number in the range, we call convert to fizzbuzz with the correct parameter. So we just want to make sure that when we're actually going to convert a range, we call convert to fizzbuzz once for every number in that range. And for that, we're going to use the new library that we've just added. So at the top of the file, we just make the library available. And then we're just going to check it applies fizzbuzz to every number in the range correctly. And we're going to use a spy. And a spy listens to a function. And in our case, that function is convert to fizzbuzz. So we create the spy, and then we call the function that we're spying on, and then we add the test to say what happened. And we expect the spy to be called once with every argument, with every value in the range. And what we can do is, if this test fails, we can actually put a better message out here. So we're just saying that we expect this to be called with the function. And then once I've finished with the SPI, I remove it. And you remove it by just using the restore function. So there's the test. We set up the SPI, we then call convert range to fizzbuzz, and then for every element in that range, we expect the spied on function to be called once with every argument in the range. So I save that, and obviously we'd expect it to be called, but until we implement it, it obviously isn't going to be called. So let's go and implement this functionality. And there we are. We're actually passing all the tests. So again, this would be a good time just to go and push all of the code changes . And for those eagle-eyed, there is actually a bug in this code still. We talk about it in the lecture, and we'll find that and fix that in the next section. But this terminates exercise 5c.